Hello and welcome back. In the last episode, I significantly upgraded my storage system by creating a shulker farm. And that got me thinking about my inventory and how I use my tools and armour. At the moment I've got a main pickaxe and a main sword and a main elytra. And when they die down I get them repaired at the end farm. But actually I want three. I want to reuse this shulker box here to have three of each. 3 pickaxes, 3 swords, and when I burn through one set, I'll just move on to the next set, and then I can get them all repaired at a single time. But to do that, I need netherite. To get netherite, we need TNT, and I've only got 35 TNT. So the first thing we need is sand. Right, let's make some TNT. So you might remember a while back I designed a TNT cannon, and what I found, whoa, what I found was that just generally mining was actually better in the nether than using a TNT cannon. But I came across someone's video and found an even better technique than that. Whoa! And that technique is actually to, what is it, F3 and G? Yes. So at Y level 15, you've got at best a chance of getting roughly 2 ancient debris blocks per chunk. So if we do a standard branch mining technique, but branch on every second chunk border, so here will be the first, and that means we're looking at essentially these 2 chunks, and then we'll skip this one and we'll mine along these 2 chunks here. That's the plan. Okay, that's the end of the line there, so we're going to start placing TNT now. Okay, that was really unfortunate. So we'll move on to the next. At the moment, I'm having more luck just mining than using the TNT. We'll see if that changes. Oh. Oh, that is unfortunate. Well, on that stretch, the odds were against us, but we've got 20 ancient debris now, which is brilliant. Do I not have another? Oh yeah, ender chest even. I'll put these away, just in case. Whoa! Got too hasty there. Is it just me, or is that actually ancient debris right there? It is. Oh, okay. Okay, that's bad. Just thought I fancied a swim. I thought I could get out of the way in time. I was wrong. Well, we spent all of our TNT and we got 35 ancient debris out of it. How much is that in terms of netherite ingots? Oh, I forgot. We also put some netherite scrap in here a long time ago. 3. It's a good start, but we do need more. I think we're just going to work on our second set today. I forgot that we'll actually have 4 sets, won't we? We've got the 3 sets in here and then the set that I'm wearing. But yeah, I've upgraded this stuff and I've got a couple of these. The downside to the bow being that if you want mending on the bow, you can't have infinity on the bow. So I'm gonna have to keep an eye on this, whereas I don't usually do that. That's an infinity one there. It's nice to have all of these enchanted. But yeah, this is something I'll just keep working at in the background. By the way, the reason I wear a gold helmet is for the nether, and this one I got fire protection on it. Alright then. The sniffer. It looks good, but I don't really think it offers anything to the game. This one's the one that's going to win, I think. It's everyone else's favourite, right? The rascal. I don't really see it being that valuable. I don't like the visual design of it. I don't think it matches Minecraft really. If I could hand him a pickaxe and persuade him to dig in a certain direction, it would be a no-brainer. But I can't. He gives me a pickaxe, so it's no good. The tough golem is barely useful, if at all. But it does make tough a bit more useful in that you can craft something with it. And in the absence of a 4th option of improving current mobs, I think it's the tough golem. No, I'm sorry, I'm very busy today. Perhaps try next doors. They'd love to talk to you about that. Alright, so, the nether. I've got a problem and I want to talk about it. This rail cart takes us from our home base over to a couple of things. One is the Blaze Farm. There's the End Portal, and then there's the Desert Temple further on. The problem I have with this is that when it stops here and I go to the end, I'll go through the portal and end up waking up in bed at home. So these minecarts only really travel in one direction. Now I could destroy it each time and take it with me, but I don't really want to have to think about it. I don't want to have to keep it in my inventory. I don't think that's a good solution going forward. I could try and have it sent back But even if I could keep this distance of track loaded, which I don't think I can, it won't get there in time for me to walk through this portal. But I have an idea. Alright, I've opened up a creative world just to explain this and also design it. This is my home portal, and that's the end portal there. Obviously this is scaled down, and I don't know what the lengths of these sections will be, but there's a detector rail every now and again. When I go over those detector rails, I've got this system here that will scoot each minecart forward one. So let's demonstrate that now. Now there is a downside to this, and that is if I ever ride it backwards, all hell breaks loose. So I think the easiest solution there is just to never ride it backwards. The other thing I could do that might help is to have it right next to the primary rail. And I'm really split-minded on that, because on one hand it will help if anything goes wrong, then I can easily fix it. And also there is something nice about displaying this interesting stuff that's going on rather than hiding it. But at the same time, I don't want it to look ugly. I wonder if I could dress this up. Alright, I've decided that I am going to have it visible from the top here. You know, these tunnels are very well decorated, but there's a lot of repetition going on. It'd be nice to have something visual happening. It'd be nice to see the cogs turning in the background, you know. The first thing I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to create a little station here that destroys the minecart. Well, not destroys it, but, you know, breaks it and puts it underneath this rail ready to be ridden again. Listen, mate, I already told your friend I'm not interested. It seems to be working fine then. So the minecart hits the cactus and goes through the hoppers and then gets pushed under there. So then the next time I want to leave, I just step up here and grab the minecart as it's leaving. Alright, here's the first little module, just to show you what I'm going to be repeating. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have these every 2 pillars. So the next one will be over here, and instead of the powered rail here, it will be like every odd pillar will be a powered rail, and every even one will be the return system. Alright, so I've made it all the way down here, and the end portal isn't too far now, it's just there. But I do have a different problem. So it's been a straight path all the way here, but here's my blaze farm, and I don't want to build it in the way of my blaze. I don't want to have to jump over it. But there is a long drop here before we get to the blaze farm. So I think what I'm going to do is bury this rail, and this center point here will be the lowest point. That'll be the next junction. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's only 5 more blocks to the next junction than usual. I think that should be alright. I don't know if it having to climb like 5 blocks alongwards is going to be a problem. I don't think it will. Let's find out. Alright, let's see if this works how I'd expect. So, if I was to place one here, it should stop there. And then, if I was to get on this. Seems to work. Okay, all of the minecarts are in place. I haven't actually tested it yet. Because I wanted to do that on camera. I am expecting some of these junctions to be broken because, you know, that's just the nature of doing the same thing a lot of times. Maybe I've broken some of them. What I'm not expecting is my idea to be fundamentally flawed, and I might find that out right now. Let's find out. Oh, it seems to be going well so far. Oh man, brilliant! Oh, that's so good. While I was building this track, I did have a thought of how I could return without causing these carts to crash into each other. Well, there's a lot of ways of doing it. One is to have another track down here that doesn't activate these, which is the boring way of doing it. The other way would be to have an AND gate. So what I'll do is I'd have this send a signal down here, and it'd be delayed using repeaters, and then this would open on an AND gate rather than just this. But it would have to be dependent on the speed of the cart. I suppose that could be predicted because, you know, we've got an even distance between these powered rails. But at the moment, I have no desire to do that. I think I'll always just go out this way. So it's been some time since we built this tavern, Nomad's Tavern, and I kept saying that I'll decorate the interior of this. The thing is, we don't have much room to play with, so we're gonna have to, guys, we're gonna have to use our imagination. No. That's far too high energy. That's absurdist humor. It's not my style. You should know better. You should know better. So, what's this? Books? No, it's not books. It's drinks. It's drinks. No, it is. It is drinks. It's a shelf of drinks, and on top of that, we're going to put some barrels with taps. And then on top of those, some brewing stands. Let's dig up this floor. Now, I did say I'd use primarily oak in these builds, but I think for the interior of this, it would be better to use darker woods. That's a decorational bee now. Back to building. We've got to finish the bar area. And what we're going to do is we're going to place trapdoors on the inside here. And then one here, I think. And that allows us to place more along here. Whoops. And in fact, we're going to need another here. So that's the bar area. Got a couple of, what are they called, steins, tankards. And then to make sure everyone knows what we're serving, there it is. Can you see what that is? It's not a bed. It's not a bed. How about this? On St. Patrick's Day, we'll swap it out for that. It's not a bed shop. It's not a bed shop. Alright, so we're going to put these columns a bit further in to fill these gaps. And then, actually, I'm going to take this one down. And we're going to put some beams going across the top. And we've got this chimney outside, so it only makes sense that we have a fireplace inside. Oh, it's feeling cozy. And just for atmospheric effect, because we know it would never be cleaned up here, some spider webs. Oh, and I forgot. No pub is ever complete without this kind of decoration. Let's just say the football was on last night and the locals had a bit too much to drink. And we can't seem to clean it off. What can I get you, mate? No, we don't sell that here. We sell books, beds, and lab equipment. I have a storage box up here. I call it my colour box. And one of the reasons it's represented by white wool and not a vibrant colour is because I don't really have many colours. I don't really have a good solution for colours right now. So I'm going to create a colour farm. I've got a lot of red. This comes from the iron farm, the iron golem farm. They drop red flowers. But yellow, blue, and green, these are colours I need. Green I'll deal with another day. But for now, I'm going to make a flower farm. Now I can't just make a flower farm anywhere. If I was to make it amongst these islands, I would only end up making yellow and red flowers. I need to go further in this direction. And I've got plans for this area here. But just around here, right here I think, if I was to create some bone meal, this should generate blue flowers every now and again as well. I'm not seeing any yet, but I'm certain there should be some here. Let's try again. Oh, there we go. Blue flowers. Now this design is going to be one of my own. It is a ground shuffler. I don't know what they're officially called, but I quite like the sound of ground shuffler. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but if you've seen my crimson mushroom and walk mushroom farm, that's a ground shuffler. In that it moves the ground back and forth, lifting the flowers and mushrooms. So it's going to be a ground shuffler, which is not reinventing the wheel really. The thing that mine does differently, I'm sure someone else has done this somewhere, but I haven't seen a tutorial for this, so I've had to build my own, is that there's no on-off switch. It's just reliant on you putting bone meal into it. Now the reason I've done it that way is because I just figured, well, first off, it adds a little bit more interest to the build rather than copying farms all the time, which is what I often do. But the other thing is, I kind of felt that an on-off switch seems kind of pointless on a farm like that. You know, if you want some flowers, fill it with bone meal and it will make all the flowers it can. You take them and you leave. So here's how we're going to start. We're going to put a dispenser in the centre. And that's going to shoot the bone meal up into the ground above it. And in fact, I'm just going to let the grass grow there. And I'm going to send some hoppers into this dispenser. This is how the bone meal is going to get in there. Need 6 of them. Whoops. Just thought I'd have a bit of a bath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then 1 here. And then a barrel. And now coming out the other side of the dispenser, we've got a comparator going straight into a repeater. And that basically says if the dispenser is not empty, give it all of the redstone power that you can. This is going into a second comparator. It has to be at least 2 blocks away for reasons that I don't understand. And this has to be on a 1 tick. Is that 1 tick? It has to be on the second setting there of the repeater. And what that does is it converts a solid signal into a quick pulse. Now we're going to put this piston here. It's a sticky piston. And a block there so that we can power it with this redstone. Because if you place redstone there, it doesn't power it for some reason. So we need another block here, and that allows us to put redstone here and a repeater here. So what would happen is when there's something in here, it extends this piston permanently until it's empty again, and that allows a pulse to be sent through the block that's here. And the reason we're doing it like this is because we're going to create a loop around this that also sends a pulse over here, so that essentially the pulse will continue so long as there's something inside of this dispenser. I mean, the loop will continue. So these pistons should fire once, hopefully. Brilliant. Now we want some more dirt over here, because we want, let's dig a hole here. We want an observer looking directly at that dirt. And that's going to power this redstone and this redstone. So if this dirt moves, the first thing that's going to happen is going to cause this dispenser to shoot out something else, and then it's going to do something over in this direction. We're going to want another repeater, and we're going to put that on a 2-tick delay. Is that a 2-tick delay? We're going to put it on the second setting, and we're going to put that 2 blocks ahead again. The reason is because we're going to create another pulse. Like that. Let's do a quick smoke test before I continue. So what I expect to happen is this line of pistons fire. Oh, hold on. That isn't going to work because that won't move that ground. So I want to actually put that there. So what I expect to happen now is that this line of pistons will fire. That will cause this dispenser to go off, which will do nothing because it's currently on dirt, not grass. And then after that, this line of pistons will fire. Let's give it a go. Appeared to have worked. Alright, now we just need to complete the loop. We do that by taking the redstone down here. We're going to do another pulse, like I mentioned earlier. So that'll be that repeater there, that, and then we take it there. Oh, I forgot we actually need a further delay, just there. Right, that should be it. I've replaced these 2 dirt with grass because this grass is taking a long time to come over, and so these are the ones that I need just to test it. And I'm going to test it just before I cover all of this over and decorate it and stuff. Just need to do a quick test, make sure it works. I'm sure it will. Okay, that wasn't quite right. Some of the pistons were firing twice when they shouldn't be. And the reason for that is that we've got a timing issue here. This should actually be set to 3, or the 3rd position, rather than the 2nd, like I said before. So that should sort it. Let's give it a go now. It's more like it. And the other thing is, these pistons always fire last. That's by design, so that the next time it starts, it will fire these pistons, and that would successfully kickstart it. Because if these pistons didn't fire last, then the dirt would already be over this side, so it wouldn't be kick-started. I did say earlier, didn't I, that it's nice to see the cogs turning in the background. But sometimes it's also nice to try to make something completely inconspicuous. Like just a barrel sitting in a meadow. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.